The purpose is to separate the hips and the shoulders. Right? It's a common phrase that's used now, hip-shoulder separation. The problem that I find is a lot of coaches want to teach it by manipulating the shoulders. You guys don't have to really learn to use your upper body. We're all very upper body driven. You see it with batting as well. We all want to use our chest, we want to use our arms, but it's tough for a lot of guys to learn to use waist down. So what we're going to do with this is instead of focusing on the shoulders, we're going to focus on the hips. Well, we got to assume that we're going to be by ourselves. We don't have somebody using their hands to hold our shoulders in place while we rotate our hips. So something as simple as this, little piece of PVC pipe, a broomstick, you cut it in half. Ask mom or dad first if that's cool. But something that's not too long, but uniform end to end. So a bat wouldn't work because the barrel's much wider around than the handle. So you want to have something that's the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push that against my upper chest. Okay, so you see right here, right across the guy's eyes on the logo, we'll put that right across my chest. Now there's two rules to this. Rule number one, the stick cannot move. The stick has to stay right where it is. Rule number two is the pressure that I'm applying against my chest has to stay the same. So if I do this, if I start to pull my chest, do you see how the stick's staying still? The stick hasn't moved. But you see how my chest is no longer against the stick? There's no pressure there anymore. Well, that means my shoulders moved. If I keep the stick straight and the pressure against my chest, then that means my shoulders haven't moved, okay? As with every exercise that I want to do with my standing still, I want to get my feet set up. I want to get my feet set so that I can rotate to finish my motion and not have to do anything with my feet. I just want to set them right in the beginning. So my back foot is straight, and then I form that letter T. So I put the stick against my chest, upper chest. I'm going to pull it tight. Now you're going to see the stick bend a little bit. Okay, there's a lot of pressure now. I'm going to keep that pressure. How do I know that I kept the pressure?
Your shoulders don't rotate.
What's up?
Your shoulders don't turn or rotate.
Not quite. See, I don't know if you guys are like me. I always want to know why. Like, well, why? How does that work? Why does that happen? Right? Very easy. I know that I kept the pressure because I can feel it. But you won't know if you don't pay attention. So make sure you pay attention to that. Pay attention to what it feels like and keep that. So I pull it hard against my chest. Now I would typically do this in front of a mirror, but in this case I'm just going to stare at the bottom of the stick and I'm going to watch that it doesn't move. So now I'm going to take my back hip and I'm going to start to rotate it. Stick staying still, staying hard against my chest, my shoulders haven't moved. Once I get to a point where I say, hey, that's enough, I might try to get just a little more. But I'm not going to do it by trying to yank anything. I'm just going to stay here and I'm going to try to get a little extra, but I'm not going to go ahead and try to thrust my hips. You're going to hurt yourself, all right? And that's not the proper motion, okay? So once I'm set up, also, I see a lot of guys when they rotate, their back foot twists. That's not how we do it, okay? When I rotate my hip properly, my hip is going to start to come forward. And what that's going to do is it's going to bring my knee forward, and then my foot is going to start to come up toward my big toe, toward the inside part of my big toe, near the balls of my feet. They're going to work together. See where my foot is there? It's not going to twist. Have any of you guys ever heard the term squish the bug? Yeah, no, we don't want to do that, okay? I want to focus on my hip, which will pull my knee, which will turn my foot. We're not trying to control all three. Control one, and it'll control all the rest. Okay? My feet are set, sticks against the chest. I pull tight. I make sure it stays as I rotate my hip. Now I can feel my hip going forward and my knee also turning in. I know where I am with my big toe. Feels good. Now I'm going to try to get a little more. That's it. I drop the stick. Now look at my shoulders. My upper body has stayed where it belongs, but my hips have started to rotate. Now I can separate my hands. Very important. When I continue from here, a lot of guys, their hips don't do anything after this. Let the hips initiate the movement from here. So from here, my hip's gonna move as the rest of my body starts to come forward. Now I finish, I keep my eyes on my target, my throwing shoulders pointing to my target, and my chest is out over that front knee. That's the speed you have to go at. You don't have to go faster than that. Some people have said, yeah, but when you throw, shouldn't your shoulders turn in? Most likely, they're going to turn in when you throw. But when we do a drill, we're not trying to copy the uniqueness of our throwing motion. See, in the end, we're all going to do this drill together. In the end, you're still all going to look different. Just like you see guys in the big leagues. The whole point with throwing is that you get to certain key spots. How you get there, there's a lot of uniqueness involved. So yeah, when you throw, yeah, your shoulders aren't going to be pinpoint straight. You're going to have some rotation. That's fine. The purpose of this drill is to teach your brain that when you throw, I want those hips starting to go before anything up top starts to go. Because if we move at the same time, which a lot of guys do, most guys that walk in this door, they're moving like it's one connected piece. That's when we put a lot of strain on our arm. Don't forget, your brain is tremendous. Even though you're doing things incorrectly, you can still throw strikes. You can still get the ball there. You can still have success, but at the expense of your arm. And the quality of the throw. It's not a quality throw just because you had a desirable result. Does that make sense? Remember that. It also doesn't mean it's not a quality throw if you don't get a good result. You're going to throw a great pitch, you're going to do it right, and a guy's going to hit it very far. You're going to make a mistake, and you're going to get away with it. That's the game. So remember, for the purpose of drills, we're trying to teach our body something. And in this case, it's to get the hips separated from our shoulders. Any questions? Do we understand the two rules? All right. So we're not going to spread out too far. That way I can just keep an eye on everybody. Let's everybody grab a stick. Okay? Jake, you can grab that one right there. No gloves for this. Make sure the feet are set. And we're not going fast when we do our follow through. Remember, we're still in tracing mode. I wouldn't get so close to each other facing like that. Jake, I would maybe slide over here. There you go. Just make sure you guys have room. Get your feet set, Alex. Remember that T. Okay? Okay? Up top chest. Pull hard against it. Okay, see, it was coming off. If you make a mistake with one of the two rules, start over. You pulling hard? Okay, now let's start rotating that hip. Keep the stick still. Keep pulling hard. Start rotating the hip. See the sticks moving? Right? That's because you're one piece. We will teach ourselves a lot if we just stick to those two rules. Okay? Stick cannot move. We can't lose the pressure on our chest. So whatever mistakes you make right now, don't let those two be one of them. Does that make sense? That's how we get better with drills. Go ahead, get your feet set. Make sure this back foot's straight. There you go. Okay, now, perfect. Okay, so I would recommend getting the hands a little further out. Now pull it hard to where it almost feels like it's bending across your chest. And keep that. See the stick's moving though, right? Do not let the stick move. That front knee shouldn't, no, see, there's no way we would have that much separation. This is not gonna happen, okay? That means we must have done something and you could tell already your shoulders had turned. Let's keep our shoulders straight. Here, give me this. Guys, one thing I showed you, I don't know if I pointed it out to you though, I like to get my hands on the outer parts of the stick and I'm gonna pull it so that I feel the stick bend a little bit. And then I'm gonna keep that pressure, right? Exaggerate the pressure, but have your hands on the outer parts so you can really pull it. If you're too close in here, you're not gonna be powerful. So you're losing it though. Go again, start over. Slowly rotate that hip. If your foot's getting caught on the ground, you're twisting. You're not rotating that hip forward. Okay, drop the stick. Separate the hands. Now slowly keep the hip coming. Good. The only correction, and we didn't talk about it, don't let this come around. Keep that tight to the body. Good job. Pulling it hard. Pull that stick hard there. Okay. Is that it? That's all you got? Got that? Good. All right, let go of the stick. Separate your hands like you're throwing. Okay. Slowly start to bring those hips forward now. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. Okay. We don't want that. We're just going to be rotating over. We're not going to bring our back leg with us, right? We're trying to work on those hips. Pull firm. Pull firm. Okay. So stay right here. Stay right here so you don't move it. Now start to feel the hips turn. Keep pulling. I'll help you with the stick staying straight. Keep pulling hard, with this hand especially. All right, good. Stay where you are, let go of the stick. Separate your hands. All right, that's okay, that's okay. Hey guys, one other thing, and we've talked about this in other exercises. That front leg has to be our support, okay? When I rotate, watch my front knee. See how it starts to come in? I don't want my knee collapsing forward. I want to be here. I want that knee coming in. So as I go to rotate forward, it's supporting me. If it collapses, I'm off balance. Does that make sense? So make sure it's nice and as you begin rotating, make sure that knee is firm. You don't have to violently lock it out. You don't want that. But this should be firm. It shouldn't be bending forward as you're rotating. Okay, be further out. Remember, it's your front chest that's going to want to open up, so make sure your front glove hand is really pulling. See, start over. Stay right there. Okay, I'm going to help you keep it straight. You pull hard, I'll keep the stick straight. Sound good? Okay, see it's turning though. See that? You don't have to worry about getting that much rotation to where you have to turn the chest. Go as far as you can without letting the stick move. That's the key.